audiobooks. I love them.
We're definitely an audiobook podcast. Would you
We
ever do
should be.
Would you ever do a book podcast? Like you managed to watch all of the television and read all of the books.
Yeah, I don't know how
Like
that
you
the
read
books-
so much.
Or what I do when I'm not watching TV. I listen while I'm like cooking or working out or walking or driving.
Oh, that's true. I guess I guess I'm still picturing like somebody who sits down and reads, but you don't. You're just multitasking.
But when do you listen to Joe Rogan? Welcome to Podjiba, the Podjiba television podcast. Dustin, it's not the end of the podcast. It's the beginning. We're starting. You made it sound like this is the end of the podcast.
My drink is gone.
It could be the end of the podcast. We have a lot of good content that we cannot use.
So much.
Mostly that would get Dustin canceled. I'm Podjiba comedy editor Dan Hamamura. With me, as always, are Podjiba managing editor Tori Preston.
I personally canceled Dustin a long time ago.
Yeah,
like I don't know.
He keeps like so many canceled men. He keeps coming back.
The bottom. There is no bottom.
There is no bottom. Not for the chicken jockey, Dustin Rolls.
You didn't say that right.
That's your name?
Chicken jockey.
I didn't even look.
No. Chicken jockey. No, that's...
Oh, because of your Minecraft.
Right.
Foray.
I saw the movie.
I read
your
your
Minecraft thing.
It's a Minecraft reference, yes.
Got it.
I actually took Dustin's review and I ran it through ChatGPT to see if there was anything interesting, and it just shouted chicken jockey at me, and I was like, I guess. I don't know.
It was a very fun movie. That's a very, very, very bad movie.
I like the idea that it's like teenager Rocky Horror, though.
It really is, yeah.
Like, that's awesome. More movies should be that. Why? When did we get all don't participate in watching a movie?
But what? Aren't they having like a meta participation screening? Oh, Megan, right?
Oh, Megan, the sequel. Yeah.
Where they're like having like, they encourage you to
use screens and like do stuff. Yeah. Well, because I think they'll have some sort of second screen activity or whatever.
I don't really like that. I think it should be organic.
Yeah, it's got to be organic.
And like, it was amazing because all of these kids, like, and all of the people I went with had never seen the movie, but they still somehow knew all the lines.
Yeah. Well, that was like, I remember seeing, and this was a terrible movie, but one of my favorite movie going experiences was going to see X-Men The Last Stand. Like the terrible, because the entire, as soon as like the trailer started, like everyone started smoking weed, which is a whole other thing. Like you just see plumes of smoke coming up and mothers like covering their children's faces. That was really funny. But we got like, you get to the part where what's his name? Juggernaut does the line. He goes, "I'm the Juggernaut, bitch," which was just like an internet. That was like a YouTube joke.
I remember that. Yes.
That was like a huge thing. And everyone in the theater like said it because that was the moment when you would say it, but nobody expected it to actually be in the movie. And then when Vinnie Jones said it with us and we're like, wait, they did that? That was the greatest moment in like, and that was a terrible movie, but it was worth it for being in a theater with a bunch of stoned people. Everyone just shouting, "I'm the Juggernaut, bitch." Wait, what?
I swear I used that as a headline for like every 10 posts for like 3 months in like 2007.
Yeah, exactly. And the kids don't even know that.
No.
But
they know I am Steve.
And who is Steve?
Jack Black.
I'm old.
Yeah. It's a lot of brain rot.
Wait, he isn't Steve the main Minecraft guy?
Yeah.
The blocky guy?
Yeah.
And he's Steve? Oh.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Oh my God, he's so good.
I'm sure he is. I like
should have Jack like Black. I don't know, like a buddy comedy like every year.
They've also been particularly charming on like the PR front, like promoting the movie. There was something where it was, I think Momoa like made them matching like caftans or something,
I
like
can
some
see
sort
that,
of
yeah.
like he crocheted them in different colors, but like crocheted them little like sweater vest things or something, and they wore them onto interviews together. It's like
they're amazing.
Just completely charming.
But it's not a movie podcast, is it, Dan?
No, sadly.
Dan's looking up
Sadly,
IMDb credits for Minecraft right now, I bet.
No, I'm looking up. I don't even know what I'm looking up. It doesn't matter.
What is Minecraft?
I have nephews. All right, I've played my share of Minecraft.
No, I'm asking. I don't know.
But you played Minecraft and you don't understand the references?
I mean, so I was going to explain that when I played with my nephew, he built a world, like a private world for us to build stuff in.
Yeah.
I built an Apple store, a very lovely Apple store, and he said, "You're playing it wrong." And I was like, "I don't know. You said build whatever you want. I built an Apple store. It looks great. It was like the Manhattan one with like the big glass walls."
I agree with your nephew. You are definitely playing it wrong.
Hey, don't shame me. It was beautiful. And then I think he like flooded it or something.
You can do anything you want.
Yeah.
I will build the Apple store.
Well, he was doing like a whole, like, I don't know, terraforming thing. So I wanted to go in the opposite direction and build an obelisk to commerce.
Capitalism. Yeah.
And capitalism. Yeah. So
it's beautiful when you put it that way.
Yeah. He didn't get it. He didn't understand.
He was a child.
What does he know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Children, they don't know what they're doing.
They don't understand capitalism.
They don't understand the beauty of the Manhattan Apple store, the flagship one, that again is just a glass cube. And when you see it for the first time, flying in on a red eye, and you arrive in New York City at like 5 a.m. and you can't get to your hotel until 4 and nothing's open, and then they let you hang out there for like 2 hours and just putz around like while you're sleep deprived. It's great.
Yeah.
Like, it was either that or what? Sit in a church? Like, we're not going to go do that.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Park bench?
That's get in trouble for that now.
Yeah.
Anyway, TV podcast. That's what we do. But we also drink things. Dustin has already finished his drink, apparently.
Yeah, I did.
Get another one, or are you?
I
not
do.
Going to... Okay. What will you be drinking?
Vodka and grapefruit juice with seltzer.
All right.
The old standby.
Standby.
But I want to hear what you guys drink before I go get my drink. I'm sure Dan's just drinking something from Costco.
No, it's not from Costco. It's another bottle of Tullamore Dew appeared in the cabinet, so I'm just drinking that. But unfortunately, my Pajiba mug, if you see, is starting to fade.
Oh, no.
I'm going to need another one. The dishwasher... Our dishwasher is like awful and ruins
Can we do another order of them? Because the handle broke off of mine, and Juan, he was like, I was just washing it, and it broke off. I was like, that's not how handles work. But also stop using my mug. But it broke off, and so I super glued it, which it seems to be back on, but now I don't trust it.
Right.
And so, like, I don't want it to break further. I'm afraid to lift it using the handle. I won't put anything in it because God knows, like, what if I wash it again and the handle just
right?
How did it break the first time? I don't understand.
Yeah.
So anyway, we should make another. We should probably order.
We can order some more. I can even put a link in the thing for anyone who wants to buy one. I think Lord Castleton gets like 5 cents every time you buy something.
I think that's accurate.
Does that still
exist? What's important is that Dustin doesn't get it. It's somebody else.
I don't get shit.
Okay.
It does still exist. I think you have to hunt a little more.
Okay.
But it's still there.
All right. Yeah. I can do that. Maybe Dustin even gets one. Do we need to update it? Do we need to update the hashtag Dustin Cheats?
So like Dustin Lies?
Dustin Lies, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know why you have to pile on me in a mug. There are other things we could.
We got you a hat already, Dustin. We're not getting you more stuff. Tori, what are you drinking?
My mug is just fine. It still works.
we're gonna order new ones, and yours is gonna break like the next week, and you're gonna be like, and we're like, no, we're not ordering
Dustin
more.
has to get one. It's only fair.
I think we should send Dustin like 3 more, so the whole family, his whole family, can
matching
use them.
set.
Yeah,
that's good.
I'm back to my canned cocktails. I've got a lime margarita. I was feeling a little bit like, homage to Evil. I miss it.
I miss
canned
that too.
margaritas. But I'm almost done with it, and I don't have another canned margarita, so I'm already debating, like, do I switch to a different alcohol? Like, what do I do? I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, we have television to talk about, and I don't know how much time we have left because I'm not really sure when we started.
I don't know either. The clock says 47 minutes because again, we
that
had to
doesn't
cut out,
sound right.
we had to cut out all that stuff that would have gotten Dustin canceled for a third time. So so I kind of restarted the clock. Anyway, so we did that. I don't know what we should talk about first.
Which Survivor, probably. We all watched it.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, Survivor.
It was every double elimination episode is kind of a bummer. Like, they're never that great.
This one had a moment. Well, I totally bought into the Shaheen fake out. I was like, Shaheen's going to get voted out, and then he wasn't. Like, it was. So double elimination, they voted out Sai and Cedric. So now Mary is the only. Was it Vula? The only former.
Vula. Sorry,
Vula. Only the last remaining member of the original Vula tribe, the Green tribe. And she seems fine. She's fit right in. Everyone seems to like her. Nobody has said her name.
I've loved her since the beginning.
And yet you did not pick her.
That's why Dan, got her.
I mean, she has managed to kind of disappear a little bit, which I'm hoping is a good sign for her game.
I think it is.
Well, because she's been away from Sai, who is the one who was targeting her.
Right.
Like gunning for her so hard. So, but yeah, so it was a little sad because,
I think I'm more bummed that Say's not on the jury.
Yeah.
Because I would have liked to see her there.
She was a good chaos agent.
Yeah. I think I would have enjoyed seeing her there more than Cedric, but
Cedric is not going to be.
Cedric was useless.
I mean, he's a really nice guy.
He is.
Really not good at Survivor.
No, he was terrible.
And you probably noticed the next day, the big trend, what was trending was this is like the 3rd or 4th year in a row in the double elimination. It was both players eliminated were black. And I definitely...
This has definitely happened like multiple times.
Yeah. I clocked it last year because I liked both of the players. I think it was last year that got voted off, and I was like, oh, that's really shitty. This year, I noticed it, but also, like, those were not good players.
Yeah, it was harder because the thing about the double elimination is it always comes down to it's like they've merged, but then they split them into 2 groups artificially.
Yes.
And so it's like it's all about who the mix of those people are, and like we can argue whether how much, if the producers are kind of engineering things to shake out a certain way in terms of what the tribes are. But the thing is, like, once they were separated into those 2 groups, other than I do think it was the chance to take out Shaheen. That would have been a much more interesting play. But given the people on each of those 2 groups.
Right. They were sort of the bottom.
It was kind of their time.
The only way to save them was to put them both in the same tribe, and then one of them still would have gone.
Right. Yes. Right. Yeah. So it ended up being like not, and the thing about the double elimination too is that like, so you don't have a reward and an immunity challenge. You kind of have just this one challenge that, does it all. And so, which I'm not arguing, like that's fine. That I don't find that the watching the challenges that entertaining. But
wait, you don't like watching the challenges?
I mean, they're fine. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes they're like, I'm just like, okay, like I'll fast forward to when they're done crawling through dirt. Like it's How many times can you watch a team put together a puzzle?
That's
it does.
fair,
It
but
does seem
I
like
always love challenges.
Yeah,
it does seem like that's where people like will check out the most.
Yeah. This one, I think this one was the body weight, like 130 your body weight, and you have to hold it the longest. And Joe and David like both like broke the previous
Right.
survivor record, but then
And
like
Cedric
David ultimately won
15 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Like Cedric was gonna go home the second he like literally couldn't make it 15 seconds. So
David
that was at least an interesting one.
I wonder if Cedric did that as a play. Like to try to be like, look, I'm not a threat.
I'm non-threatening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody ever thought
do you
he
need
was
to
threatening.
be that non-threatening?
I don't know. I mean, because it feels. I mean, it could also just be like, you know, they haven't had a lot of food. They're like,
Sure.
I mean, it just slips or whatever. Like, I could see it really just being like it slipped or something happened, or I could see or I could see him thinking this is my best shot.
I just thought he's a surgeon and he has delicate hands.
Oh, there's that too. He doesn't want to mess up his hands.
If he thought that was his best shot, I think that just further proves he's really not good at this game.
But I think David became sort of a villain with his showboating. I mean,
interesting.
He always, I mean, he just, I don't think he's interesting enough to be a villain, but like, he lays everything on. His whole, like, I need to win so I can have a baby. Like, all of it is too thick.
This is something I wanted to ask about, so I'm glad that we got here, because there's a lot of like this is kind of the first season that I'm not like fully on Reddit, but like I'm definitely reading more on Reddit than I do in the past. Mostly because in the past year I've gotten more into Reddit because of video game stuff. So that's neither here nor there. But the point is that there's kind of like this war going on between people who love David and then the people who are like, why do you like David? He's annoying. And then a third group of people who are like, why are people either, you know, why is there such a big divide about David?
Right.
Like what, and
how can you feel so strongly in either direction about this milquetoast man?
Yeah. And but the argument that people have made in favor of him, which I thought was interesting, was that they're saying that like he's admittedly not a super fan. We're tired of super fans who know and like plan 1,000 steps ahead. And this is someone playing more of an old school game where they don't entirely like, they're not playing in the same way and like not calculating in the same way. And that's an interesting wrinkle because we haven't had that.
I like that. Yeah.
I don't find him annoying, but I don't know. I don't see him winning, but
I like his story. But well, I'm a sucker for a poor guy.
You're a sucker for a
I mean, I'm
a good-looking white guy.
I'm a sucker for a stunt performer, but that doesn't mean that like I'm buying into his story.
But the showboating was kind of off-putting.
Yeah.
Mostly because it was against Joe, who is my favorite player.
I think the showboating would have been funnier if it wasn't against Joe.
Mm-hmm.
And but that's also where I think the clock is ticking on Joe too, because that's going to be true for anyone. Which I like Joe, and I think I'm not saying I think Joe has a ways to go, but like he's kind of too pure for this show.
Yeah.
I actually don't like Joe.
Oh.
I think that I have a problem with and I mean, I know David's also kind of part of this, but like, I have a problem with the players that are like, we're going to be honest. We're going to win by being honest. I'm like, no.
Oh yeah, that's
you're also not being on. Like 5 seconds later, you're not being honest. You're just defining honesty in a particular way.
And I do think that while Joe is part of that, it is hysterical that he was closely aligned with Shaheen, who I think is like, and Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
And Kyle is already from the word go lying to them.
Yeah.
Which is the only redeeming part of this whole like honesty, strong people tribe is the fact that they've embraced a guy who's like, yeah, so Camilla's my girl, and I'm just not telling. Like we are running this like long con on everyone.
And also somehow they maintained it even after they played all their advantages.
Yes.
Which that's
like
the
they
part
still
I'm
buy
shocked
it.
Yeah.
No, it's amazing. But so like that's why like it's not the like, oh, it's going back to old school. Like that's not why I actually appreciate what Joe and David or whatever. I just love that they're doing this whole thing. And one of the people in their inner circle has been lying to them the whole time. And I love that. I love it so much. But I do think David is worse than Joe.
Okay. Interesting.
Joe's just a good guy.
Yeah.
It's also, but it was also like seeing the two of them toward the end where David is showboating and Joe's clearly like trying so hard. And you're like, you kind of feel for Joe.
Yeah, he's doing it
not
for his kids.
Not that he was like huffing and puffing, but he was like, he was taking it seriously.
Right. David was also taking it seriously. He won the challenge.
Yes, he did.
So,
but he's like,
he told him he
feel
wasn't
like he could stand up there for like 5 hours and not break a sweat.
Yeah,
he could have gone
kind
longer.
of insane.
I would have respected David more if he actually did that. If like Joe lost and David's like, no, I can keep going, and made everyone sit there for a second hour.
Now that's showboating.
That's showboating, but that's the kind of thing where it comes all the way back around and it's like, I respect it. You made everyone suffer. I love it. Anyway, but he didn't do that. So you know what?
Fuck him.
Fuck him. But it's also terrible because it's like, I hate that he has this. I do hate his story, except for the stunt performer part. But also, I feel bad being like, fuck him, because it's like, really, what I'm saying is like, no baby for you, and that seems terrible. It's not that. I hope he can find. I hope he does not win $1 million and can find another way to have a family.
Yeah.
Or a woman that doesn't need
or a woman that doesn't need $1 million
$1
to have a baby.
Yeah.
Like
that story just feels very weird. And again, I don't actually dislike David, but that story continues to feel.
It does feel weird.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'll grant that.
I don't know. Oh, did you guys ever pick second winners since you both lost your winners?
I lost both my winners because at least with my previous. We didn't pick second winners.
I mean, like on our podcast.
On ours. Yeah. No, we didn't.
I haven't had to. My winners.
Yeah, I know, because you have
mine's
Mary.
Still there too. I had Joe from the beginning.
Did you?
So I'm the only one who has to.
I'll
go right. Camilla.
Did you have Joe from the beginning?
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
Oh.
He did. It was the whole daddy thing.
Oh, that's right.
All right, dad. We don't say daddy.
I do.
Sorry, wait, who's yours? Camilla?
Camilla. I'll go Camilla.
That's
I don't
smart.
know.
That's smart. She's
I just enjoy watching her like thing.
I would love a Camilla, Kyle, Mary final three.
Yes.
I don't think Camilla and Kyle can both make it.
They might drag.
If they manage to keep their partnership a secret and can go that far, obviously, like only one of them would win, or probably whoever was the third would win, because it would be really hard to pick between their games.
One of them is inevitably going to have to turn on the other at like 6.
That's going to hurt.
It will,
unless they keep their partnership so super secret.
But then how do you sell that to the jury?
No, I mean, that's the problem. You get to the final 3 and like your games are indistinguishable.
Yeah.
And that's when Camilla throws Kyle under the bus. I will say, as sad as it was, like, I was a little bummed to see Say go, but part of it was because at the beginning of the episode, they do the whole, you know how they always do the like, from the previous tribal, like the team returns to camp and blah, 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 blah. And it's just Cedric obsessing over who wrote his name down. And it looks like a woman's handwriting, but I don't recognize it. And Say just going, yeah, that was me. I wrote in cursive, so he wouldn't recognize it. Ha 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 ha. I was like, that is the chaos I'm going to miss.
Yeah, that was great. That was good.
Like, was a fun
changing your handwriting just to mess with him.
Yeah, her and Thomas were really entertaining players.
Yes. So
Thomas.
You remember Thomas.
Oh yeah, Thomas, sorry.
Yeah.
The overtly evil one.
Who's Thomas? Yeah, so now we have the Good Guys Alliance versus people who are playing Survivor. So
right, exactly. They're realistic.
We'll yeah.
Yeah. The people who know what show they're on.
Yeah. But we'll see.
What else we got, Dan?
What else do we have? I don't actually know what to say about the Pitt, just that it ended. It will be back for another season next January. It was great.
I really appreciated that they sort of like slowed it down a bit and had sort of like a good like end of the shift episode where it wasn't
you get to have like emotional closure.
Right. It wasn't like we need a cliffhanger here or we need a huge sort of casualty.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the best seasons of Game of Thrones. The last episode is really just coming down from whatever crazy thing happened, and then like kind of resetting everybody.
Yeah.
I loved it. I love the season. I really think it's my favorite show in a long time.
It's very good. I'm glad that they have found that they will, or that they've already said that they're pretty much bringing everybody back. So
they have. Good. There's no like which interns are.
No, they just.
It's like we're just going.
They're all coming back.
And they basically said that the gap is long enough that they'll. It's actually, they said it's 4th of July, right? So they will be, which is when everyone gets bumped up and the new med students come in. So like that's also I've been told July 1st don't go to the hospital, or like even July if you can avoid it, don't go to the hospital, because that's when that's when everybody's new in their new spot.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's bad because, especially if it's a teaching hospital, obviously, then like they don't know what they're doing yet and they're still figuring it out. So but anyway. But yeah, so everyone will be up a level, whoever, does come back and stays, and
it's Langdon's first day back.
Oh, right, they did say that, right?
Mm-hmm.
He'll be done with his
treatment,
NA treatment.
Mm-hmm.
That's
the Pitt.
That's the Pitt. It's just a really good show. You should go watch it. It'll be back in January, so you have time, but make them. You'll enjoy it.
Okay, fine.
Tori.
The first episode I watched was good.
Yeah.
It was fine.
You really have to. That second episode's where.
Yeah. All right. I'll catch up when I stop watching cartoons.
All right. Speaking of cartoons, Tori, I'm so sorry I did not watch Lazarus, but please tell me quickly about Lazarus. Dustin doesn't care. He can go get a second drink.
Oh my God, I gotta go get my second drink. No, so Lazarus is great. So obviously this is from the creator of Cowboy Bebop, but it also like there was a lot of press around the fact that Chad Stahelski,
yes,
does the like action coordination, like direction for it. So he like consulted. So all of the action sequences in it, which there are a lot and will continue to be, because one of the main characters is essentially this like 23-year-old, like you are introduced to him as he breaks out of prison via parkour, like essentially like martial arts parkour.
Yeah.
And it's very clear that like that action direction, because the way it's animated takes into account like camera angles and body movements that feel very cinematic in a way that like you're like, oh, that's not just a talking point. You're not just getting the like John Wick dude like in your press kit.
Right.
You
even like designed it visually to feel like that kind of
it feels unique. So that input, his involvement, I think is going to pay off. But yeah, the premise is there is this like scientist who is supposed to be this like really benevolent guy, creates a painkiller that's supposed to have like no side effects. It's this like unicorn drug kind of. Everyone takes it. And then he comes forward, he like disappears for a while, and then he like releases a video and he's like, hey, so that drug it's called like Hapna. And he's like, that drug I made, like I think the world is ending, like humanity is doomed. And actually I included something in the drug that is going to kill everyone. I think it's like so many years after people first took the drug. And so he's like, actually in 30 days from now, it will be the anniversary for like the people who took the drug for the first time, like the first people to try it. So like in 30 days, people are going to start dropping dead from this drug. So I have a cure. You can come find me or, figure it out. So all like the world, the governments are all kind of like they're trying to come up with a cure. And then there's this like team that gets formed to just as a second option to try and track down this doctor and get the cure from him. And so that team is like the Lazarus team. And it's the usual crew of misfits, highly talented weirdos.
Right.
And so, and it's, it's got the awesome jazz score. It's it's a lot of fun. I'm not sure. I haven't seen the second episode as I was mentioning. So I don't know if it's going to, the impression I'm getting so far is that it's going to be a bit more linear than something like Cowboy Bebop, probably a bit more grounded. Obviously the action is even more impressive, but but it also may lack some of the more philosophical flourishes as well. But all in all, it's really entertaining. I'm looking forward to getting to know the characters, and it's a good story.
Yeah, I'm excited. And Dustin, there's action for someone like you.
He doesn't care. He would. What's funny is actually Dustin. This is one that Dustin would like.
But out of principle,
he won't.
Can't watch it.
Maybe if we could run it through ChatGPT for him.
Okay.
Oh, that could work.
So.
All right. Well, I'm excited to watch it. I just got busy and hung up on other stuff that kept me from watching, but I plan to very soon. Like I also plan to watch The Last of Us season 2 premiere. Probably. I don't know.
Probably.
It's really good.
Okay. Is it?
It is. Yeah.
It is really good.
It's pretty good. I mean, it was not like it was
zombies.
a slow. There weren't many zombies. There was one big action set
piece. It's a super intense action sequence in the basement or whatever that room was, or that
it was a grocery store kind of.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's super intense.
And the big thing is like this season, and I'm trying to remember if that was true in the game, but like the infected have evolved. They're evolving, and so now like Ellie encounters one that like hides and like sneaks around and can like plan, and it's clear that there's more intelligence going on. So like, okay, they're getting smarter. That sucks. So like that's one kind of big revelation, but most of it was just, there's like a 5-year time jump, and Ellie and Joel are in that Jackson, Wyoming settlement that Joel's brother Tommy was helping to run. And it's like the whole thing is that life is going pretty well. They have a good system going. They seem pretty safe. Ellie goes out on patrols. Joel is helping build houses. Everything is super normal. Catherine O'Hara is there as a therapist that drinks whiskey and is mad at Joel, but also is trying to help him deal with why Ellie hates him. And we don't know why Ellie hates him, although we do. We know why they're having a fight. But technically they haven't revealed it. And then
Isabel Merced, who is amazing, and I loved her in everything I've seen her in.
Yeah. And she's there as Dina, who is the new love interest for Ellie.
She's gonna die, and it's gonna fucking break my heart. I thought she was gonna die in this episode, and I was like, I almost like turned it off because I couldn't deal with it because I like her so much.
I hate when you do this.
Why?
Because I can't say anything.
Oh, God damn it.
No, I'm just like.
Was she in the video game? I thought maybe she might have been.
No. She is a character from the video game. Like that whole dance sequence was pretty much spot on from that.
Interesting. She, the actress she was Dora, and but she was also in a movie called Instant Family that I loved, that I've watched like 3 times.
Oh my God, she was Dora.
Yeah.
God, that Dora, I reviewed that. That was such a good movie.
She is so
charming.
really
she was
good.
so good in it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, and she's great in the show, and she'll be around for a while. Don't worry. That's all I'll say. She'll be around for a while. You don't have to.
Good.
Don't get too upset just yet. Yeah, and so but the big thing that we're introduced to, although there isn't a lot of focus in the episode, is that there's a character named Abby who is related to the Fireflies that Joel absolutely massacred last season to save Ellie. So she is like a survivor of that, and is obviously very upset that somebody that she loved died, and has like vowed vengeance. She like wants Joel to die slowly, and so she and her like comrades we're gonna pick up the pieces and figure out how to find Joel. And so at the end of the episode, it's like after this 5-year time jump, they show up like on that same mountain that Joel came in, like overlooking Jackson. So it's like, okay, things are about to go off. And that's Caitlin Deaver's character. So it was not like
terrific.
Who's also terrific. Like the cast is still really, really, really good. They are doing some departures. They're clearly setting themselves up for more of the flashbacks that we got in the first season, which will probably be like kind of adding things or slightly changing things from the game, but I think that's fine. It was just nice. I mean, Joel had one of his like, oh, I'm just gonna like get really teary-eyed and just be like, the camera's gonna be really close up, and I'm just so emotional. And you're like, oh. It was great. It was fun. It was nice to have it back.
It's a really strong, character-driven episode.
Mm-hmm. And very much just like letting you get used to the new normal before it all gets blown to smithereens. Yeah. It's nice to have it back.
Agree.
I think people are really upset that Abby is not as jacked as she was in the game, though. Which is funny because when the game came out, people were very upset that there was a character that they had to care about that was jacked. It's like a woman with big muscles. So there were a bunch of gamers that were like, she's too manly.
Ugh, right.
God.
And now that like, and so I can't tell if HBO, if the producers, like if they actually were trying to like, I think Caitlin Deaver was the best actress for the job, best actor for the job. Like, I think that's why she's in the part. There's the cynical part of me is like, did they course correct because all the gamers were mad, or because now people are mad that she's not? And it's just like, you can't make everybody happy, but it's kind of funny.
I bet they didn't care.
I don't think they care. It would be a stupid thing to care about considering everything else that they keep.
Mm-hmm. And if caring about that led you to cast Caitlin Deaver, then great. But
yeah, fine. We still get like a really awesome actor. It's going to be fun. So we got another big show.
Yeah.
On HBO.
I'm joking about it. I will watch it. It's just there is a lot. No, I mean it's not that I'm not interested in it. It's just that there's a lot of other stuff, and like we're not even talking about Hacks this week. Hacks came back. It's still Hacks.
People are super mad at Hacks, and I
don't know why they're mad.
I thought it was great.
I think it's fun.
Well, I think part of it is they're like, oh, they're spinning the rails. They're doing the same thing over and over again. And I think for me, the difference this season is I like the big twist coming out of those first 2 episodes is that like we thought that Deborah was mad at Ava for like kind of winning in some sense, for like backing her into a corner to get the head writer job.
Right.
And that's not it. It's Deborah kind of going, no, like you did improve my my work, but you also made me too niche, and this is a network nighttime talk show.
Right.
Like, I can't be niche. I need to be general public, and that's not who you write for. That's not who you made me. I needed a head writer who gets that.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, but now I'm stuck with you, and you need to bring your game up.
Right.
And I think that's I do think that's a new dynamic for the show, where like Ava for the first time almost seemed to like win in her dynamic with Deborah, and then finds out that like that's not even the problem. They actually have to work together because like Ava genuinely is not suited for the job that she has. But coming out of last season, I also believed she deserved it. Everyone did.
Right.
And
that's so even before Helen Hunt's character tells them, no, like you're out of your depth. Like even to
Deborah.
To Deborah, that like this is not Vegas. This is not the same thing.
Like
as,
both of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they are only going to come through it if they work together, and we know that when they do actually work together, they do make something great happen.
Right.
Is that considered spinning the show spinning its wheels though? Like, I mean, I guess. I don't know.
I feel like a little bit of I don't think it's spinning its wheels. I could see, to me, the part that felt not spinning its wheels, but the part that felt familiar was really just the fact that we got 2 episodes, and it basically took 2 episodes. Like over those 2 episodes, the largest story we were told was they are going from not working together to working together.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of like on the broadest scale, that's essentially the only major thing that's happened.
Yeah.
So I could see like that felt familiar, and that felt like, oh, okay, well, it took us 2 episodes. Now they're actually going to work together. And now we're even going back to Vegas. So they figured out a way to get us back to Vegas, which is great. But I agree that I think the opportunity is certainly there for them to explore new stuff because they're on this journey where both of them are out of their depth.
Right.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
I like the sort of like subtext of like the late night is dying. A woman finally gets the job in a genre of television that's on its way out.
Yeah.
And to see how they sort of confront that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and Helen Hunt kind of being like, it's not like we picked you over other people. There was no one else.
Right.
Like, not in the sense of like you were all we wanted. It was just like there weren't any other candidates. You didn't beat anyone to get this job.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a dying medium. You need to find a way to like justify it, or we're gonna replace this entire talk show with something with like, what was it, like a clip show?
Yeah, that was the other candidate.
That was the threat. Yeah. So, so you're right. I can see there is some retreading of familiar beats, but I do hope that there's something fresh enough there, because I at least found it interesting that both of them are not so they got exactly what they wanted, and they now realize that they are actually like potentially not up to the task.
Right.
So could be cool. So yeah, Hacks is back. Good point. Yellowjackets ended.
Oh, right.
It was fine. It was a thing that happened.
It was fine.
They answered some stuff. They answered the Pitt girl.
I have to say, I actually have never seen Yellowjackets. I don't know.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, you've never seen it?
No. I know Joel McHale was on this season.
Yes.
He was.
For not long.
No.
Okay.
I do think
he got a really fun death, though.
They ate him?
He did. Well, I think you don't see it, but it's implied.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Definitely,
So
he got a knife through the eye. He was in the past.
Okay.
Also, he was a survival guide. He was a wilderness guide.
Oh.
Which was very hot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, so how
weirdly hot.
How did he wasn't in the plane crash?
No.
He was escorting these frog scientists.
Okay.
These 2 frog researchers that were they were trying to locate these special frogs that are having a mating call festival in the woods. And so he's leading them around, and then they stumble upon the Yellowjackets campsite.
Oh.
And because the girls have just killed their coach, I think, and are eating him and having a big celebration, and they have his head on a spike on the outskirt outside of their camp. So these like scientists and this wilderness guide walk up and they're like, "Hello," and then look at this like head on a spike and are like, "Oh shit!" And then it does not go well for them.
The logic of that particular storyline is a little weird too, because like somebody had to drop them off, and
no, well, they were led in. They were led in, and there were other scientists before them. Like researchers have been coming to this area over and over again to try and find these frogs.
Right, but presumably someone would come back and get them at some point.
Well, no, the guide would lead them out. That's why they have
where?
Lead them out of the woods. So that was the whole thing. Joel McHale was the important one.
So he was the one that still haven't gotten out of the woods.
No, so they've been there for over a year. They're going into their second winter.
And they didn't take the opportunity to use Joel McHale to get out.
Well, a bunch of the girls wanted to, but a couple of them were like, these people know that we're cannibals. How can we just go out into the real world with them? So they like go back and forth, and then one of them.
I mean, I understand the logic, but
yeah, it's and they all just have to throw in complications to make it harder for them to leave. It's fine.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
It's fine. And one of the scientists is the one that ends up killing Joel McHale. But yeah, it's the whole thing. It's like they don't need the scientist; they need Joel McHale. He's the one that can lead everyone out. And then he gets a knife through the eye
from a scientist.
Well, the scientist, because she was the girls, like some of the girls who like Natalie, some of the girls who wanted to escape, who wanted to like free them and use them to get them out of the woods, and the girls who didn't want to leave can just like they were just going to abandon them.
Right.
So they snuck the remaining the first scientist, like one of the scientists dies immediately. Like as soon as they show up, one of the girls like just axes him in the back of the head.
Nelson Franklin.
Nelson Franklin.
Oh.
Well, yeah, he dies immediately. The other scientist and Joel McHale end up in this end up being held hostage, and so Natalie like sneaks them a knife and is like, "Look, once everyone's asleep, free yourselves, come meet us in the woods. You guys lead us out of here. Like we'll leave everyone else behind." And then Shauna, who is Melanie Linsky's character, but like as a teenager, realizes like something's weird and goes and interrupts and like kills basically like catches them trying to escape, and then so the scientist turns around and knifes Joel McHale in the eye to like prove that she's with them. She's cool. She's down with killing people.
But then they have dirt on her anyway.
No, because then Shauna's like, "Oh, you're crazy," and kind of uses her as like a little,
Oh, so she's still alive?
So she is still alive, yeah. Oh, although I think Shauna also just realized that she betrayed her. Because Natalie, so the finale is the scientist had a satellite phone for emergencies that was broken. Misty fixes it with a piece from the plane transponder that she had, because Misty was the one that broke the transponder so that no one would rescue them initially. So one of the girls is the reason why no one ever found the plane crash. Because Misty was like, "Oh, everyone hates me, but like I'm really useful in this specific like scenario. So like maybe if we're stuck in the woods long enough, they'll all be my friends." So she
and at the end, Dan, they'll wake up in purgatory.
They might. Honestly, we don't know. They're kind of doing this whole like everyone who dies wakes up on a plane, and you're like, "Oh, are you doing a thing here? Is this purgatory? Is this some sort of like
good cast though? And Hilary Swank came in.
Yeah. And then Melanie Linsky tried to eat her.
Yeah.
It was great.
Oh.
In the present.
Right. In the present.
Right, because Melanie Linsky's only in the present.
Right. Yeah. Cast is good.
It is a good cast. And they could make I think it'll be a good last season. It'll be one of those shows that should have had a first and a last, and that was it. And then just everything in the middle. is just filler.
Yeah. Like, I think if they had if the show had just been 3 seasons, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
If they combined, like, they talk about having a 5-season arc, and it's like, you really could have done this in 3.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of filler. But anyway. Friends and Neighbors.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't watch it. You watched it?
Yeah. It's the John Hamm show. He is a guy, like a stockbroker guy, loses his job, decides to start robbing his friends and neighbors because he lives in a very wealthy neighborhood. And you might think it's like a Breaking Bad kind of thing where he becomes like a big time thief. And I hope it's not that. And I don't think it's that. It's really just like this guy who's going through a divorce, and he's like estranged from his kids, and has been working this soul killing job all of his life, and sort of like, I think that he's finding himself through this process of stealing from other people in order to pay his alimony and his child support, and so that his family doesn't realize that he's broke.
Yeah.
But it's more like a relationship comedy, like a dramedy.
Yeah.
But it's really good. Amanda Peet is the ex-wife who is also going through her own thing. She had an affair with a NBA player who she's now with, but she's a therapist, and she's sort of discovering that she is like tired of her life as well. It's a lot of middle-aged malaise sort of thing.
Rich white people.
Yeah. It's my kind of show. And Hamm is fantastic. Olivia Munn is really good. She's like the booty in John Hamm's sort of like, she's also just got divorced, and they like hook up a lot, but John Hamm's not ready to commit to her yet.
Right.
But we'll see how that shakes out.
Olivia Munn is everywhere these days.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Like, good for her.
Mm-hmm.
She's doing like morning, was it Today Show, or like one of those morning talk show? Like, she's a guest host for a bit. She just popped up on the Daily Show where she hadn't been a correspondent. Yeah, she was great. Like the whole joke of like, yeah, she hadn't been there for like 24 years or whatever, 14 years.
It's a great show. You should watch it. I hope it's big, like a 3-season show.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've covered stuff. Should we do our bracket?
We have covered stuff, and it is time for us to finish the bracket. By the way, I just realized this entire episode we have not addressed the fact that we didn't do an episode last week, which that's fine.
I mean,
we're also not doing one next week, so
yeah.
We have
last
a weird
week,
schedule.
My entire family had the flu.
It's fine. We don't have to explain it, Dustin. We don't. This is
well. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but it was there were circumstances that prevented recording, and that's okay. So much so that our bracket has lasted longer than the actual college basketball brackets upon which this is based,
and longer than our previous brackets, which were full length,
which had more
stuff, like more rounds.
Yeah. But that's fine. This is how it goes sometimes. So we are at the final four, but we will end it tonight.
We're gonna knock out Duke tonight.
Which one's Duke?
Wait, I remember 3.
Okay,
what's
so the two matchups left are Outer Banks versus Mr. Show. This is the Dustin champion versus the Wildcard champion. And Justified versus the Leftovers, which is the Tory champion and the Dan champion. So
gotcha.
Okay, so
I feel like Duke is the Leftovers.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So Outer Banks versus Mr. Show. Dustin, your kids' show has had a great run.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Is there any way it beats Mr. Show?
No.
Let's be honest. Be honest.
I'm going to vote for Outer Banks because I love my children.
Right. That's
they're
fine.
your kids.
Yeah.
But I love Bob and David.
Yeah.
So I'm going to vote for Mr. Show.
I am also voting for Mr. Show.
You don't care about my children, Dan?
I do care about that.
Their show got through 2 rounds, got to the final 4. It's a great showing.
They had the flu. All 3 of them had 7 to 10 days.
You know what's really cool is you can watch Outer Banks anyway.
That's true. You can watch it with
them. They keep insisting that I have to.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you love your children, you can just watch it.
Yeah. So actually, this is the right outcome for you because we don't want to take that experience from you and your children.
We're not the ones to force it. We will give you something that's great. And if your kids force you to watch Outer Banks, that's between you and your family.
Yeah.
They're going to be crushed. I'm sorry, Hattie.
Mr. Show moves on. Don't worry. You can definitely make Dustin watch Outer Banks on your own.
Yes.
Just tell him that it's what he owes you because he promised that I don't know if this ever made the recording. It might have been cut, but he promised it would win. And so the fact that it's not now means that he does
that hashtag Dustin lies.
Hashtag Dustin lies once again.
Wow.
All right, Mr. Show's in the final. Let's find out what it will face. Is it Justified, which is the show that we keep trying to get Tori to watch, specifically season 2.
Only
because
season 2.
As much as we love the entire run, season 2 is really like, unlike Friday Night Lights, season 2 of Justified is really like, if you can only watch one season, you should watch this one. And it's up against The Leftovers, which Dustin claims is a great show. Never seen it.
This is a really hard one for me because Leftovers is literally my favorite show of all time.
Right.
Yeah.
But Justified season 2.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. Dan and I neither of us have seen Leftovers.
Yes.
So if we're talking bang for our buck, Leftovers would make sense.
Right.
And I'm willing to vote for Leftovers. Even though I think that, like, part of me, like, I kind of came into this assuming, like, I'm going to vote Justified. I want to see Justified. Everyone seems to like Justified. We just vote it. Here's my concern. Get to a final round where it's Mr. Show versus Justified. Justified wins.
Does it?
Now I'm going to, here's a full disclosure. I am going to vote for Mr. Show.
Right.
In the final round.
Right.
No matter what goes up.
Yeah.
So the question I'm posing to y'all is.
Don't answer, Dan.
And it's Dan. What show could we put against Mr. Show that maybe you would choose Mr. Show?
I mean, look, if it's Leftovers versus Mr. Show, we're probably going Mr. Show is my guess.
Yeah. But I'm worried. We put Justified up against it.
If it's Justified, I mean, the duck is quacking. The truth is, I don't know.
It's a tough one,
answer
right?
is because
let's find out, Dan.
I think we have to find out.
Okay. I mean, look, if it were all 3, if this was like you have to watch all 3 seasons of Leftovers, I would choose Leftovers. But I know that, and if it was just the second season, I would say The Leftovers. Except you have to watch the first season to get to the second season.
Right.
But you don't have to watch the first season of Justified to get to the second season of Justified.
Right.
And that's the only reason I am choosing Justified
over
my favorite show of all time.
Is sweeping Leftovers.
Yeah.
No, I'm just gonna vote Leftovers.
It doesn't matter.
All right. Well,
are you sure? Okay.
I have to vote Justified just because I don't know. Yeah, I don't. So okay. So our final, Mr. Show, the show that we did not even know was going to be in this bracket until very late. Last one in, because we didn't know Dustin had never seen it. And Justified, the show we've been trying, specifically season 2, which we've been trying to get Tori to watch for like 4 years.
Yes.
Tori has already declared she is voting for Mr. Show.
Yes, and it is not that I don't want to watch the second season of Justified. I think it'll be a lot of fun. It just we've already failed, because this bracket was supposed to be about our biggest shame, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like most of our biggest shames didn't make it in, because the reason we didn't watch them in the first place is because we kind of don't want to watch them.
Yep.
So we picked the things that we do want to watch.
Yep.
Of these, Justified seems like a great show, but like
you have no idea.
It seems great. It seems fun. It's got some good actors. I don't know, but man, why have you not seen Bob?
I don't know why I haven't seen it.
See,
I have no idea.
Comedy. You cover SNL every week.
The other problem is that we now have. I just realized we now have 2 shows that I've seen both of them. So neither of these is new to me. Like, if I had voted for Leftovers, at least one of us, at least there was a show that one of us hadn't seen. You know,
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You've seen.
I
both,
also made a mistake, but
you should have voted Leftovers. I voted Leftovers.
I should have voted Leftovers. But
do you want to go back and change your vote?
No, I don't, because this is where we are. So Dustin, you're voting. You're voting.
Oh,
for,
you know who I'm voting for.
You're voting for Justified.
And I do actually would not mind at all watching Mr. Show.
Right.
I'm sure
you
would
love
for
it. Me.
Is that
that's not punishment.
We're giving Dustin something that he wants, unfortunately.
Which does, it does. Okay, so it does sap some of the enjoyment out of this.
I think
it's just, I haven't seen that second season of Justified since it aired.
Mm-hmm.
It was really, Walton Goggins was something before that, but this is where Walton Goggins becomes fucking Walton Goggins.
That's true.
Yeah.
And
also,
actually,
that's the season that really
That was Margot Martindale, character actress.
Yeah, that was when people kind of like realized who Margot Martindale was. Margot Martindale.
SpongeBob was in Mr. Show, but lots of people start in lots of places, guys.
I think. All right. Before I tell you where my brain's going, I think that Tori is right that we have failed. That there's no good outcome. I mean, it's all good outcomes, but there's no good outcome because Dustin will be happy no matter what.
I am not going to be punished.
We're also not that ashamed, ultimately. No. And I think the thing that my brain keeps coming back to is it funnier that... Is it funnier for Tori to finally get to watch Justified Season 2? Or is it funnier that we somehow once again fail to make Tori watch Justified Season 2? And that's why I'm voting Mr. Show.
Yeah, I think
come on. Damn it.
There are so many things that I am ashamed not to watch, but I will never be ashamed to watch Mr. Show again.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud that this is the outcome.
I don't actually know. We'll have to figure out which episodes.
I really felt that this time was going to be I thought.
Okay.
I
know this was going to be it.
I thought it was. I also thought it was going to be different, but ultimately, this is the best way to punish you. This is the only way to punish you left.
And
at its core, that's what this bracket is about.
Yeah.
So
it always seems.
Come on, this is hysterical. Think of all the shows I haven't seen, and none of them made it.
Congratulations!
You're gonna make me
Mr.
watch like the one show that I'm actually ashamed, because I'm not really ashamed that I missed The Shield or Outer Banks, but I am a little ashamed that because I love Bob Odenkirk.
But also, it was a wild card. You didn't even pick it.
Yeah.
You never even listed it as a shame. You didn't realize.
No, I didn't, but I just mentioned it when we were looking for wild cards that I hadn't seen it.
So you did this to yourself.
I guess I did. But I feel like if I hadn't done this to myself, then I would have been stuck somehow with Cowboy Bebop. So in a way, I'll take the victory.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not
Yeah,
wrong.
looking at that path, Cowboy Bebop probably wins.
Yeah.
So, well, there's always next year, Dustin. So
next year's bracket is Seasons of Justified
versus Cowboy Bebop. There's only one season.
Cowboy Bebop. Individual episodes of Cowboy Bebop.
All right. Well, that's the show. Congratulations to Mr. Show.
Yes.
Which we will be watching some select episodes of over the summer.
Yeah.
Tori will curate a list for everybody.
How many seasons of that are there?
It's only
not
3.
that many. Yeah.
There's 3. Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't count the revival.
Oh, right.
Was the revival any good?
Which was fine, but it was like a different.
Yeah, it was a different thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's very fun. It's. I mean, I haven't watched it in a while, but I'm excited.
There's a great Jack Black musical sketch that I'm excited to show Dustin now that he's on his Minecraft kick. Yeah.
And we will not be back next week because someone's going on a fancy vacation. It's not Tori and it's not me. So, so we'll be back 2 weeks from now. Wow, that means we're only doing 2 episodes in April. Well, that's fine. We're not.
That's fine. It's not like any big shows are starting or ending this month. It's not like Daredevil's ending this week.
Oh shit!
We will be back. We'll be back in time to talk about Andor, I think. So that'll be great.
Yeah.
I'm definitely that Andor is one show I'm not missing. So
I will.
Apparently, they're releasing them in the
watch
blocks.
it.
They're releasing them in the 3-episode blocks. So
it's
that
the
seems
Bosch
like a mistake.
model.
Well, yeah, but Bosch doesn't do like arcs the way that this show does.
Well, they kind of do actually. This season, it's been like 3, 2, 2, and I think 2, maybe 3, 2, 2, and 3.
But in this, so Andor season 2, it's so the first season was 5 years before Rogue One.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
This season is covering the next 4 years. So every 3-episode block is a moment of, I don't think it covers the entire year, but it's like a moment in that 1 year.
Right.
And then the next time you come back, it's a year later.
Following year.
But every Bosch block covers like one case. And then there's one case that is the entire season.
Okay.
But like, this is the big, but this is the big Star Wars show and they're burning it off. That seems not great.
I don't know. I don't think, I think it's a good strategy because I think, I think it was, I actually think that it was worse off because it was weekly, right? Last time?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think weekly was actually tougher for this show, for the way it's structured.
I feel like, I think it was weekly, except that they launched with like 3 episodes or something. They did launch with more like that first week.
Yeah.
And I found it very hard. It was not like a bingeable show to me.
It's not bingeable, but I do appreciate that they're, I don't know, at least again, with the way that they've described this season being structured, I appreciate that.
Yeah. We'll see how it turns out. Yeah.
I will say last season, I think it was the one benefit of doing that was that the first arc was the slowest and like not the toughest to get to because it was still very good, but like it was just like it had to do so much lifting to kind of like set up everything that it wasn't like that felt like the most work. And then every arc after that, it became easier and easier to enjoy and easier to fall in love with new characters and all that stuff. So
this also means we're not going to get to talk about the special we got canceled added scene to Mythic Quest.
Well, we can talk about it.
We'll talk about it later.
We can talk about that later. Yeah,
they're going to re-release the finale this week with new content,
which is a very interesting
strategy.
Idea.
Yeah.
Does
especially
that
considering
old finale just disappear?
I guess.
I hope so.
I'm wondering if it's just they're adding a scene, so the old finale exists, but there's just a new.
I hope the scene is like, oh, we made a mistake.
Yeah. It's whatever Poppy was going to say after that kiss, and it's like, oh, never mind, I'm going to the Netherlands. Bye.
Yes.
But it's also interesting because like they had to have shot it really quickly because the finale was just a couple weeks ago. And then they announced the cancellation along with the announcement that like we're canceling it, but we've got it. We're re-releasing the episode with new content. So that
tells me that they had it.
They knew. Yeah. They knew ahead of time.
Well, not necessarily that they knew that they were being canceled, but they had it in case.
Oh, okay. In case it was, yeah.
That would be my guess, but I don't know.
Huh. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. But we will talk about that in 2 weeks, unless someone's sick, because we're not here next week. So, but yeah, Dustin looks confused. Have a good night.
I'm not confused.
Good night, everybody.
My contacts are dry, and looks like I'm rolling my eyes, but